Hi crafters, and welcome to my Sunday video. Sorry, I had to grab my Stampin' Cut Emboss machine. Welcome. It is Sunday, March 15th, and we are going to go through and make an example using this Paradise Bundle Garden. Now this, when you buy it as a bundle, will be the stamp set and then the die set with the embossing folder. You can buy the embossing folder by itself. You can buy these individually, but this is the bundle. So let's go ahead, and we're going to do a couple little die cuts today because I love this banner die. All right, so let me go ahead over here. I'm going to use my two favorite colors to use together, and that would be Bubble Bath and Blackberry Bliss. I love putting these two colors together. You probably noticed if you watch my Watch It Wednesday, Finish It Friday series, you probably saw that stamped in one of my examples. All right, so let me go ahead. This is exactly 4 inches across. I could go like this, but that's going to put a lot of pressure through the rollers. So I'm just going to go like this. I'm not going to tape it down because I have enough edge there that I think I'll be okay. But it keeps moving. Let me move this back out a little bit. There we go. There we go. All right, so let's do a couple of the banners. Let's go ahead and we'll get this one out of the way. Let's do another one there. And we'll do three. We'll do 3 of each of the colors because I don't know how many I'm going to do of each or what I'm going to do. So I also like how you could, on a piece of basic white, you could lay these out like I'm doing here, and you could put various like designer paper behind there, and that would give you kind of a cool little image too. All right, so that's it for Bubble Bath. Let's go in and cut some on this Blackberry Bliss. Such a gorgeous color. Like I said, I had kind of an idea of what I thought I wanted to do, but I don't know if we'll be doing that. We'll just cut out 3 of these also. Get it a little further back. So when I angle this in there, it doesn't take it off of that cardstock. Should have angled it a little bit, but it was kind of rough bringing that one through. Alright, and now let's go ahead and do one last one, and then we'll have our 3 and 3. This time I will angle it so it's not so hard going through the rollers. Alright, and I think that's all I'm going to do with the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine for right now. Let me put this here, because I don't know if I'll cut out another one or not. So let me put this on my little side counter here. Let's go ahead and bring those out. Now, when you run them through, let me show you. There is a side that actually will have that little embossing indent on it, that little frame. So that would be the upside. It would not be this side. See how there's no, here, let me turn this one over. See how here we have etching, here we don't. Flip it over, there's that etching. Okay. Gosh, these are so, look at that. This is just, it's so pretty. I wonder, let's see, let me grab out a piece of Let's do this as top folding. So I'm going to score at 5.5. We'll cut at 4 1/4. So this is going to be portrait style. What do you want to call it? Hot dog. It's a little bit better. Let me get this so it's even here. Sorry for that extra noise. So we don't have any hanging edges. There we go. So my ends are completely flat. Put that back there. Yeah, let's see what this is like, because I think this could be fun. Leave a little bit of an edge there. Wondering if I should put it on. So I'm trying to see if we line it up. Does it leave a little? Oh, it does kind of leave a little bit of an edge. All right, we're going to try it. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring this up just slightly. Back. Let's turn it on its back side. Let's put a turn on the back side. Let's get them all lined up. Going right down that line. So this is the back side. This is the side without the embossing lines. All right. So that is all lined up. We put this down just to hold it together. This is the masking paper we used from the earlier video. If you watch my technique of the week video that I released a little bit earlier, that's what we used to do that retiform. All right, so this last one is a little off. Go. Now that's pretty even. I do like that. Oh, look at that. And then I'm thinking we could go ahead and we could stamp one of the flowers. Maybe this bigger flower. Put this on a block. Let's do the little edging technique. So what I'm going to do here is I need a way bigger block. That was falling off the, let me take off this grid. That was falling off the edge of that other block. That's why I want to put it on here. So let's go ahead. Let's put this down. I'm just going to leave that masking magic. Masking magic. Can you tell I watched a Gina K video yesterday? That masking paper on there. Just so it's a little easier to place down. Let's get, so we look even on both sides and we have even at the top and the bottom. Let's just press that down. That's very cool. Now I probably could have done a little bit of a background because this looks pretty stark around here. Maybe what I will do is, do I have a Blackberry Bliss? I sure do. Maybe we'll do a little bit of edging. Just so that will stand out a little. You want to be careful when you're using your spots so you don't get it on that layer. And you could have stamped a background. You could have run that through that embossing folder if you wanted to. I'm just going to give it just a little bit of an edge there. Okay, so there, you see there's just a little bit of color behind that. Let's see if I put up another piece of white, if you'll see. See how there's just a little bit of a lining around that. Okay, so let's go ahead then and let's stamp that flower. What I'm going to do is, let me grab my, you know what, no, I'm just going to use, I think I have bubble bath? I don't. All right, so let me use, I'll use this for the edging. Yeah, I don't have bubble bath. That probably wouldn't be a color they use in the paper pumpkin because it's such a light color. Let me grab my big pad then. So here I have bubble bath. I'm going to make sure that my stamp is clean since bubble bath is such a light color. You don't want to transfer any ink you might have on that onto that light pad. All right, so let's go ahead. Let me grab my white piece that I'm going to, that's folded. Let me see if I have a piece of white here. I usually have white scraps all around. Let me look over here. Are those white? Yep. All right. These are my, as you can see, strips from when I've cut different layers. All right, so let's put that there. That flower should, and if you wanted to use your Stampin' Positioner here, you could. I'm just going to trust the process. So I'm going to ink a little bit of the bubble bath. Take this and I'm just going to lightly go around the edge of the flowers. And then I think I want to get just a little green for that stem. Kind of do that going up into the flower. I'm going to exhale on this because it did take a little while for me to do that, so it could have dried out the ink. Exhaling on it will just re-moisten your ink. Let's go ahead, stamp that down. There's your image. Really pretty. All right, let's cut that out. Grab out some of my tape here. Let's cut that out. I'm trying to, let me get down here a little bit more. I'm trying to make sure that little notch on the, see how there's a little notch there on the stems, and there's a little notch on the die. So that's what I'm trying to line up there. That knot just lined up. And then moving it over here so that I see my edges. Oops, I think I just moved it a little bit. We're going to run that through. I'm also going to get my Stampin' Positioner because we're going to stamp right on this. So let me grab this first. You could use your mini Stampin' Cut embossing machine too, because as long as it's less than 3.5 to 3 3/4 of an inch your paper, it will go through that machine. So let's pop out that inside center there. So there. Oops. There is that flower cut out. All right. Let's put that on the magnet so I don't lose it. Let me bring this over here. Let me grab my Stampin' Positioner. I was using it this morning. You'll see, yeah, I didn't do my cards yesterday like I wanted to. I'm doing them this morning. So you'll see what I was using on that. All right. I think I want to use sorry, I have no room. Those people who have like a long, I mean, I have good room, don't get me wrong. I'm very thankful for the room I have, even if I have to share it as my office. But this way, I don't have a lot of room. All right, let me put this over here because I'm going to do that thank you. On that bottom. I think I want to angle it on purpose. I did get some of that to look at. I did get some of that ink cube on that. All right, so that looks good. I can use either the little mini to pick that up, or I could use the big one. I'm just going to use the mini and make sure that looks somewhat lined up with the lines on my grid paper. Push down, so I get that up, turn it upside down. Let's stamp on it with the Blackberry Bliss. Let's go back in. Make sure again, sorry if I got my head in there. Let's go in there. And if it didn't stamp good, then you could go in with the positioner, see how the H isn't the greatest. So let's go back in. Again, line that back up. I'm going to push a little bit more where that H is. And there you are. Now that looks good. That over here. I'm going to go ahead and pop this up. Again, these are just, when you get your Stampin' Dimensionals, you have that backing on it. I just put packing tape, clear packing tape over that little piece of cardstock to help pull it off. And then all the backings stick to the packing tape, so I don't have backings all over the place. Now, let me grab tweezers. Let's see. I don't want it. Let's see. One right there in the middle. One there. I want to make sure it doesn't show over the edge. And I think we'll put one right here. I think that's going to make it stand up pretty well. All right. Let's go ahead. All right. So there you are. There's our card for the day. If you wanted to put on some embellishments, I have a few of the antique pearls that still have that. I don't know if this was bubble bath or if this was pretty in pink. But let's just kind of go ahead and highlight. I don't like how that got dirty on there, so I'm going to put that right over there. It didn't get dirty in my spot. Probably the lid of the spot hit it when I was going around the card. All right, now we're done. And yeah, this is a little blank up here. Maybe I would cover this up and maybe do some speckling on there, but I'm just going to leave it as it is for now because you have to know when to say stop. Yes, you could do a couple more embellishments up there. All right, so there's that one. Let me show you the other ones I did. Here, I cut out, let me show you, I did a bunch of the hexagons, the hexagon die, in different greens. So we have, you know, the moss meadow, old olive, granny apple green. I think that's it for those colors. Oops. And then I ran it through the embossing folder. Pop that flower up again. Put a few of the cutout leaves underneath there. So there's that one. Here's where I used the Stampin' Positioner to do a rainbow effect with that stacked stamping. And again, this could use some embellishments if you wanted to. Probably if you have the loose frosted dots, those would work really good with those colors. You can see in there, those colors would mix. But there's the stacked. All right, so there you are, guys. Oops, let me get that out of the way. There are our cards for today using the Paradise Garden bundle, which again is your die, your stamps, your die set, your stamp set, and that hybrid embossing folder. Can you tell I'm from the Midwest? All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great Sunday and be safe. Bye for now.